Seems like we all like a good unboxing, so here we go. This has just arrived for me in England from, as you can see, the United States. I've taken all the packaging out and I've unwrapped the things that are inside already because I got a bit too excited. It was all from Julia Art. There's the details. I will also put you links. And as this is my first purchase from Julia Art, she sent me a little thank you present as well. Look, so I got some pretty things to play with later. Right, what I ordered was holographic mould inserts. They're quite thick, so it'll be interesting to see how these work. And there's a little sort of blobby roundy shape one. And this was the thing I was really after. I've been looking for a good crystal mould for ages, and these just, well, look at the shine inside that. It really stood out. So I thought we'd give this a try. Anyway, I'm meant to be doing other projects today. I have promised to do more on the raindrop with fishing theme. I'm going to do that later now because I so want to do something with this. So I'm going to do a series of videos with this because I've got a lot of different things I could put in the bottom. Obviously, I want to try the holographic doodah. I also want to try dichroic film. I want to try glitter, obviously, and also the cellophane. I've used that in a few videos now, so you know, the shredded cellophane that's all sort of holographic looking that florists use. So I want to try that. There's so many different things. It's a shame I've only got the one mould. Anyway, what I'm going to do is just zoom you in. This is going to be a mind-blowingly simple project, our first one, because I'm just going to put the resin in. I'm going to tint it very, very slightly. Probably going to go for lilac, I think. Try and get like almost like an amethyst sort of effect going on. And I will put the holographic inserts behind it. So that's all we're going to do. So I'll get the resin mixed up and I'll be back with you shortly. Okay, so what I've done, I've got one of my, a box lid. This is a really useful box. And I've put one of my sticky mats in it, which is just basically silicone, and I'm popping the little crystal mould in on top. And that is simply because I'm going to need to move this because I've got a load of other projects on the go. So I thought if I put it in this, then it'll be nice and flat, surface for it to stand on and easy for me to pick up and move. The resin I'm using is from Arc and it's called Tabletop. I don't know if I've mixed enough here. This is it. It's a two-parter again. Epoxy resin, of course. I'll put you the links for this below in the description as usual. It's a deep pour one, so it's 2-to-1 rather than the usual 1-to-1 resins that I use. Now the reason I've gone for a deep pour is that this is deepish, and also I'm a bit concerned about bubbles. Now deep pour resin is very, very runny, so it should degas better. That's my theory. I've tried it for other things before and it does come out lovely. So I've got mixing it, as you can see. And I'm going to let it stand just for a minute and I'm going to get myself whichever pigment I decide on. So the pigments I'm going to be using, I wanted quite a purpley colour, and I'm not sure how purple this one will be because it's called lavender and it looks more like it's more of a pinky purple to me. So just in case we need to add some blue, I've got the blue as well. So I'm going to give them a real good shake. Always remember to shake your pigments up well. And your alcohol inks and anything like that that you use, because you know it can settle. And I want this to be really quite see-through, so I'm just going to put 2 drops in what is a fairly decent amount of resin. Actually, you know what? That is going a nice colour. I'm not going to need the blue. I like that. Now, how coloured is it? Not very, but there's quite a decent depth here, so the colour will show through quite well. I could do something white to back it against. A tip for you, when you're mixing your colours, get a bit of white card or something behind it so you can see what colour it really looks like. Actually, I think I'm happy with that because I want to be able to see the holographic effect coming through, don't I? So I'm just going to stir it for a little bit longer. While I'm stirring it with one hand, I'm a bit ambidextrous, which is helpful. I'm going to give the mould a good spray with alcohol, and I mean a really good spray. That's probably too much. Okay, now the reason for that is it's to try to release the bubbles that will stick to the surface of the mould, because it's all little faceted shapes, isn't it? So I want to make sure, as far as I can, that I don't end up with little bubbles stuck in all of those holes. And as we know, alcohol will release bubbles nicely because it breaks the surface tension. So that's probably a bit too much, but hey, let's see what happens. So time to pour. Now you can see how runny this is compared to the normal resins that I use. As a result, it will take longer to cure, which is another one of the reasons that I wanted to put this onto a little, a little tray so I can move it. And you know what? That, by sheer luck, looks like almost exactly the right amount that I've put in there. So that was, if anybody needs to know for this particular mould, as I said, I will put you the link, that was 20 millilitres of part B and 40 of part A, was that? Way too much. Well, not way too much, but yeah, it doesn't hold as much as I thought it would. Now, what I'm doing is I'm peering down into it to see if there's any bubbles stuck, and I'm going to do a bit of poking. I'm hoping that alcohol will release it, but of course, being a crystal shape, there's all sorts of little nooks and crannies. So I am going to poke around a bit and just see if I can make sure, as far as possible, that any are released. That alcohol will help. Although, as I said, I probably put rather too much, so I hope that doesn't mess up the curing time. We shall see. Now, as I said, this is a different sort of resin to what I usually use. It's a deep pour one, it's runnier, but it is still an epoxy resin. So you'll see, gloves, PPE, I'm all geared up. I've got a window open, I've got extractor fans running. We're being careful, as always. So I'm just going to put a little tiny drop more in, because we're going to need to take it right up to the top. And make sure it's up to the brim, because we then want to put one of these in. I don't know which really. I think if I put the bigger one on top, it might droop at the edges and therefore lift in the middle. So you can see this side's holographic. Can you see the shine there? Don't know how well that's coming out on the light, in this light, but I'm going to pop that on the top, and I can see that it is squidging the resin out from underneath. That means it is sat fully on the top. So I will lift a little bit of the surplus away, but not all of it. I can trim some away afterwards. I need to make sure that it is fully in contact with that and stays as such. So I'm not going to worry too much about taking too much of the surplus away. Just take the worst of it off. What you don't want is gaps underneath your holographic piece. So I'm as sure as I can be that that's fully in contact with the surface. So I'm going to let this firm up a bit for a few hours, and then, well, it'll take at least 24 hours really. I was just going to say I'll let it firm up a little bit before I try to move it, but I might have to move it sooner. But anyway, that's it. That will be my first attempt with the holographic inserts and that beautiful crystal mould. And yeah, really, I'll see you for the demould. It's going to be a quick one, this. And I'll see you, well, 24 hours or so. Right, demould time. So we've got the little insert sat quite nicely on the back here. That seems to have worked. I'm going to pull that off first. Oh, holographics. Looks like I missed a bit at the end here and here with the insert. Didn't quite make contact, so I've got little holes for that. hopefully won't matter. Right, I have loosened all this off already, so let's give it another. There we go. Are we ready? I'm quite excited about this. Oh, lovely. That is such a sparkly mould. Big thumbs up for the mould. And I can see, I think, a little bit of the holographics coming through as well. Now this has given me a load more ideas. This is so simple. You'll have seen so many different people do this on YouTube, I'm sure, because it's just easy. However, this has given me some ideas, so watch this space. Just want to say thanks again to my subscribers. As I make this video, I have cleared the 1,000 subscribers, so as soon as my channel's been approved for the I think it's called Partner Programme on YouTube, I should be able to get my membership scheme going and get loads of freebies and giveaways and thank yous basically out to anybody who'd like to go on and join the channel too. And it means so much to me. I'm glad you're enjoying my videos. Don't forget, I do requests, so do pop any ideas, thoughts, suggestions that you'd like me to have a go at into the comments section for me, or below this video. Take your pick, either's fine, and I'll have a go. Frankly, I'm not running short on ideas. I've probably got about 200 to 300 backed up. I haven't counted, but there are certainly plenty of them. However, if there's anything you particularly want me to have a go at for you, then absolutely chuck that into my comments. Thanks again, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this video.